Hey guys, welcome back. Monica here, and today, yeah, I know I gave a semi-teaser as to what this video was going to be about. I don't know if some of you have been wondering or maybe pondering what this whole video is going to be about, but the reason why I said let's get real in that last video is because today is June 5th, 2019, and June 5th, 2017 is the day I got sick. And this is not a day that I am celebrating, but this is a day where I felt like I wanted to talk about some things, like good and bad. I just, right off the bat, I want to say that my videos will never be 100% negative, because that is just not how I'm wired. That's not my personality. But I like to get really real. I like to talk about the stuff that people just like pretend isn't happening or are scared to talk about, but yet I hope that you find encouragement as well. Honestly, at the beginning of this video, it might be more so the junk and the crud and, you know, where I was 2 years ago today, and then where I'm at now. I am pleased to say I am so much better. But there are just some things, especially when I started opening up on this channel about having triple PD and people reaching out to me, and it was like I'm getting the same responses from so many people, and I feel like there's this community out there of people that are suffering, and we get looked at differently. Then that's something I'm gonna talk about, and so I'll just hold that for a second. I was ready to just like go after it. Also, obviously, like I don't have my, I felt like not wearing my extensions today. I don't know, and my hair is kind of, I don't know. So that's why I look a little bit different, but that's one thing you're gonna learn with me as well. I change my hair a lot, but this is natural. So anyways, that's just a little side note. None of this is scripted. It's just gonna all come from my heart. But if you see me looking down, due to brain fog, that is kind of real. I have to jot down just some pointers that I want to make sure, things that I hit and talk about during this video. I think I'm just gonna give a mini version of kind of where I was. I know I did talk about that a little bit in one of my previous videos, but I'm just gonna kind of fill you in on what life was before, and then the day everything changed. So prior to June 5th, 2 years ago, I was on a family vacation. Summer was here. The kids were just out of school. Life was great. We had a great trip. And then we literally were home for less than a week. And I remember, I'll never forget that night. It was June 5th and it was the evening. And my husband and I were watching TV in bed, and I just started feeling different. I felt anxiety, which is something that I don't have a lot of history of in my life. Very much panicky. Long story short, now I know where a lot of you guys are going with this already. You're probably thinking, oh, she just has panic anxiety and that's what's caused her triple PD. Wrong. There's stuff that you don't know, and I will explain here in a second, but something wasn't quite right, and it got so severe that I actually told my husband, I said, I think I need to go to the hospital. Like I'm like freaking out. I can't, it's like my system inside, it just wouldn't settle down. I was just amped up. It was this uncontrollable feeling that I couldn't even like explain to my husband. We didn't end up going to the hospital, but I wanted to. I ended up going to sleep though, and things were fairly mild, so I still had that feeling the next day, but if anything, that it just kept intensifying, and other symptoms started happening. Like I couldn't handle noise. The noise thing was the thing that came first, the constant nausea, and then I'm not gonna go like exact day by day, but just kind of give you a condensed version of it. Then my light sensitivity and the whole vision issues happen, and then the swayiness. But what a lot of people on here probably do not know is a couple years prior to getting sick, I was having ear issues with my ears plugging up all the time and feeling like I was underwater. And I never went to the doctor for it. And I honestly believe that is something I should have done when I knew that it was an issue, because I'm a worship leader. I sing on a regular basis, and almost every time I would sing, I would get underwater, and obviously something was wrong. And so in the process of trying to like get better and everything, I went to ENTs, I went to neurologists, I went to regular doctors. I can't think of the rest at the moment, but I know I went to 3 or 4 ENTs, and all of them told me there is nothing wrong with your ears. It wasn't till way later, after I went to Mayo Clinic, that they told me I definitely could have had an ear issue that resolved, but in the process caused the PPPD to happen. Because what's interesting is when this all started happening to me, for the first, I would say about 8 months, I still had a lot of fullness and a lot of stuff going on with my ears, but that ended up going away. Like my ears no longer plug up. They don't, when I sing, I don't get that underwater feeling like since then. So I'm like, that's crazy. I'm just gonna end that with that right there. But this is one of the first things I wanna talk about. When I very first went to the doctor, I couldn't get in to see my actual doctor, so I saw the nurse practitioner, and she thought I just had anxiety and was having panic attacks, and so she right off the bat tried to put me on an SSRI. At the time I was freaking, so I'm like, yes, I need help, I will take this. But that was the start of me realizing how oversensitive and this is before I realized that I was having sensory overloads, and it wasn't just a panic anxiety thing. And so when I tried to take that medicine, it only made me worse and my symptoms worse. Now back then, I was in a much worse shape than I am now. So, because if you've seen some of my recent videos, I'm giving those kind of medicines a try again, but I'm not in the state that I was back then. Just so you kind of have an idea, 2 years ago, I could not function. I could not leave my house. I could not drive. I could not eat. I couldn't hardly sleep. Like I was basically trapped. Like, I think the only time I hardly ever got out was to go to church on Sundays. And for the most part, I couldn't even hardly be a passenger in a vehicle, okay? To now, where I can do a lot of things. I am not limited. I just have to push through a lot of things. Like even doing this right now, visually, my eyes aren't great, but I've kind of adapted, so I just do what I gotta do, you know? So I can drive now, interstate, not the best yet, but I'm getting there. In town, I'm totally fine. I'm not a danger to anybody. And so there's so much I could say, but I gotta move this along so I can get to my points here. But this is the one thing that really hurts my heart with the medical field, because I've had so many people say to me as well that people with invisible illnesses like PPPD and there are many others out there as well. We generally first get treated like patients that have a mental disorder. And I'm sorry, that is not okay, and it's not fair. Yes, I've developed some anxiety and depression, but that's because my sensory system was going bonkers. And for me, I do know that triple PD can happen from panic and anxiety, but it also can happen from ear problems. It can be caused by traumatic brain injuries. I should have had my book, because I have a list from Mayo that said there are multiple reasons of how you can get triple PD. But it just stinks that like doctors first and foremost are like, you're just whatever, and here, take a pill and this is gonna make you better. When for me, that was not the case for me. So when they gave me that medicine, that only amplified things up even more at the time, because I was already in an extreme heightened state 24/7. When really, if talking meds, which I know some of you are anti-meds and that's your opinion, but I actually needed something to help chill me out at the time. But anyways, so that kind of stunk. And so I did countless doctor visits at the beginning because I wouldn't give up. I said, I'm not doing okay. So that whole like, it's in your head, you just have anxiety, blah, blah, blah. So many of us deal with that, and it sucks. It straight out stinks. And that shouldn't be the first go-to. I feel like there needs to be like, I don't know. I know where I lived, like no doctors had any clue what triple PD was. So I try to have some grace, but don't just go speaking anxiety and depression on somebody just instantly like that, when, you know, obviously that wasn't the case for me. I also felt in this video, I wanted to share something that's pretty real. I'm gonna try not to tear up during this video. The first, I would say 4 to 6 months, and I did not keep this a secret from everyone, but I did tell some people because I was in such a place where I didn't even feel like I was in this world. Like my sensory system just was like, there was no tapping into reality back then. Like it was that bad. See, I'm like trying, I told myself, like, I was like, it's been 2 years, I can talk about this, which I can, it's just hard to talk about without crying. I have just, okay, how do I say this? I have never in my life, I'm just gonna say it, had suicidal thoughts in my entire life. And just so you guys know, I was never a threat to myself. I never was gonna do anything. But for the first time in my entire life, and I know a lot of you are gonna be able to relate to this, because it's not just, there's something that happens in your brain when your sensory system is going all crazy, but then also, I'm sorry, I'm a Christian and I do believe the enemy uses things against us. That I can unpack a whole thing on, but anyways, I had thoughts of like, I don't even want to be here. That sentence is hard to say. I don't feel that way today. And I even knew back then that that wasn't me, because I told my husband right away. I said, Chris, I'm having messed up thoughts. And I just have to say right now, I'm so thankful to be so much further along than I was back then, because that back then was terrible. And I have so much compassion for people that are in that place right now, because I understand. But just so you know, it does get better. This is not a lifelong thing. Yes, it's taken me a while to heal, but I am healing. I am getting better. Ugh, Monica, I didn't want to cry, but it happened. Honestly, I'm good. I'm mentally stable, but that shocked me. And I know some of you family members or even people from my church, you may be shocked to hear that, but you know what? It's real. Like, and that's the thing, is I wanted to make this video because these are real things that happen to people. And so many times within the church, outside the church, wherever, we just push things under the rug like it's not happening, when really we have to be open about this kind of stuff and be like, I am struggling and I need help. And you know, and for me, I've reached out to my church family and I've reached out to the medical. I'm doing both. Okay, I gotta move on from that. But I really felt I was supposed to share that in here because it's a real thing that happens to people all the time. But just so you know, like, this is not, I know it takes a long time to heal from triple PD, but there are things that can help us. And so just don't give up, keep going, because even though I'm not 100% better yet, I am functioning. I couldn't function 2 years ago, I can function now, okay? So just keep going. I wrote on here, friends and family don't get it. I've had a lot of people tell me that they've dealt with this as well, and I just have to hold my tongue because it's not that many people have this. It's not like every person around the corner was diagnosed with triple PD. It is different. It is similar to somebody who's had a traumatic brain injury, and so you can't categorize us in the same category as somebody who just has anxiety and depression, because it is different. I'm sorry, I'm not just having panic attacks, okay? That's not what this is. And so if anything, the best thing friends and family can do is, you know, we're not looking for people to be like, oh yeah, I totally know it, I totally get what you're talking about. No, sometimes we just want people to listen, or even just talk about something different, you know? Because I hate to say it, a lot of you don't understand. You may understand some things to a certain degree. I've met 2 people, legit people in my life, like face to face, not online, that have had similar things as me. And I can tell, because when we talk, just the way we word things and the way they say things, I'm like, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's 2 people in 2 years. And I don't see these people on a regular basis, but I didn't bring that up to be like a brat or anything. I brought it up because I just feel like, I don't know, I guess maybe this isn't the case for everyone, but I've had family members, like, they don't even ask me like how I am because they think they've had it, and it just kind of blows my mind. I'm like, I don't even want this. Like, why, you know, it's like, I don't want this. Like, this isn't fun. Like, I literally have felt sick every single day for the last 2 years. Like, that's the thing, is like, I try to get through to some family members. I'm like, I legit haven't had one day symptom free, you know, and some days are better than others. And you know, like, I have so many people come up to me now like, oh, you look so great, you must be all better. And I'm like, that's the other thing. On the outside, we look like we're okay and we're fine, but we're not. And that's the thing about invisible illnesses. I may look like I'm healthy and I'm doing okay, but that's just not the reality yet. Yes, I'm healing, but I'm not fully there yet. I also wrote, having to smile past the pain. I could give countless examples of where it's not that I was faking it, but it was me trying to enjoy myself and just live life normally. last Christmas Day specifically, I had a terrible episode right before we were supposed to meet family for Christmas. And by the time we got there, yeah, the episode had simmered down, but I was still very in a heightened state. And I had to like go into Christmas and be all like, you know, like I'm okay, when inside I'm just want to cry, you know. And I think that's one thing in this world where, and this is a prayer of mine, I knew this was gonna bring up a lot of emotions, this video, but I have this prayer. I'm like, Lord, I want to be so aware of hurting people, of people suffering with things, because a lot of times on the outside, we're not going to be able to tell. And so my prayer is that I'll just be so aware of the Lord's voice and his prompting to speak to somebody if they need help, because my heart is so softened towards people hurting and suffering. See, like obviously I care so much, and I'm not even quite there yet myself, but it's like there's so many people out there hurting. Okay, I'm gonna move on. This is another sad thing. I have lost friends due to me not being able to do anything, because that first year was terrible before I got diagnosed. And then the second half, you know, I got diagnosed and I started having treatment and stuff. I basically have one good friend, my husband, and my sister. If I'm being really real, those are my go-to people. And it's not like I need a bunch of friends, but it's the reality of what happened. Some people are just different around me. People have their opinions about me and my situation, which hurts because I'm not stupid. And I don't know. I just know that those of you that have been dealing with this as well, I know you're relating to me right now. And like I said, a lot of this I just want to share because this is the real world. This is like, so many people are dealing with stuff like this, you know? My very last thing I wrote on here though, and I'll start winding this down, is I have come a long ways. Oh, I just need a breath. I don't really edit my videos. Do you know what? I don't even really know how to edit. Like, the Lord just told me to start this channel a long time ago, and it wasn't until recent where I really started being more active on here. And so I do my best. But as far as editing goes, I really don't know what I'm doing so much. So I don't cut out stuff. What you're seeing is 100% real. But let's see. I've come a long ways. I used to go to a bunch of different therapists. I only go to one now, but she's like the full package deal for me. She helps me with everything. I just recently went to my stepson's. I just say son, but some people get kind of like thrown off because I'm not very old. It's graduation. And I was so thankful because I was in a huge auditorium and I did great. A year ago, I probably couldn't have been in there at all and I would have missed it. A year ago, or almost 2 years ago now, I missed a really good friend's wedding. I could not be there. I've missed a lot of stuff. I don't miss hardly anything anymore. It's not, most things aren't that easy to get through, but I do them. And that's the thing with getting better, and the thing that I realize now is as long as you're moving forward, you will get better. Now, I do know, because some of you that are familiar with DNRS, honestly, we're not supposed to talk about this. We're supposed to be mentally like, you know, retraining our brain, retraining our thoughts, which I am doing. But the thing is, I am also a Christian and I'm a believer, and I believe that the Lord also wants me to talk about some things, and the Lord is healing my body as well. And I know what I'm doing. So if that confuses some of you, that is why I still choose to talk about some things. This coming Sunday, I had to think for a second, is June 9th, and I will be turning 37 years old. And also that day, I am having Immerse Night of Worship. I'm sure some of you have seen, I've had some of our worship nights on this channel on my birthday. And to me, I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do than worship on my birthday. And because the thing is, see, this is a hard time of year for me, and it's supposed to be a happy time of year for me, because the sad thing is, the 5th I won't ever forget, because, you know, I got sick that day and it really changed my life. Honestly, in good ways and in bad ways. But also, it's supposed to be a happy time, like a week, because on the 7th is my husband's birthday, and then on the 9th is mine. And talk about mixed feelings. I am so thankful, though. I am so thankful. I am thankful for those of you that have reached out to me and have asked me questions. I'm sorry if some days I've gotten delayed in responding, or and there's still somebody else I feel kind of bad that I haven't got back to you yet. Just know that I think about you guys, and those of you that have reached out to me, I pray for you guys. Because I also do believe that God is a healer, and this is not a forever thing. It may be lasting a little bit longer than any of us would like, but you know what? We will get better. And I just believe that. I do not believe I'm going to be like this the rest of my life. Like, for one, I refuse. I refuse to be like that the rest of my life. And in the last video, I wore a shirt that said fearless on it. And from this day forward, that is my prayer as well. Every year has looked different since this happened, and this is the year where I'm getting rid of fear, because this disorder caused so much fear in my life. I don't want fear. The Lord wants me free from fear. And I am ready to get rid of it, like, for once and for all. And I do believe this is my year. I just believe it. Like, I know it. I didn't think I was gonna be such a crybaby. That's all right, I don't mind. So in closing, I just want to say to you guys that a few quick things, and these are things that have got me better. Reach out to people, pray. God will answer you. I promise He will. Don't stay homebound. Whatever you do, you gotta reach out somehow. and try to even just start by sitting outside on your steps or on your deck or something. Just trust me on that one. Don't get stuck inside your house. Okay, it's summertime out. Now is the perfect time. So if you're homebound, now is the time to start making little steps towards going out. And the thing is, I do understand this because 2 years ago I could barely walk a block with my husband because everything was just so crazy around me. But the thing is, you have to, because your brain needs to retrain. Your brain needs to know that this is normal. These are normal things. And trust me, I know it's hard. I've been there. But the first step is getting out of your house, okay? Honestly, if you want to talk or have any other questions, obviously I'm not a doctor, but I am somebody who cares very much, obviously. And I have an Instagram, New Life Sparrow. Is it 23? I forgot what my Instagram thing is. I think I had to add a number behind it. Let me double check for you guys. But I do have a link as well. Yeah, it's New Life Sparrow 23. And you can message me on there if you would like. And honestly, the next few days my sister is going to be here, and that's something that we do every year. She comes and visits me with her kids, so I get to see my nephews and my niece. And I'm so thankful that this year I'm in a much better state that I really feel I'm going to be able to enjoy it, because 2 years ago was the first year in many years that I couldn't have them around, because she has much younger children than I do, and I couldn't handle the noise. So I just want to end this on a grateful note. I am so grateful because my sister is, I'll probably start crying, one of my best friends. It has always stuck with me, and I'm just so grateful. And yeah, so sorry for getting all blubbery. That one just kind of hit me. I am, believe it or not, these are happy tears. I'm not looking back on the past and being sad and upset. I'm not. I did this video for so many reasons, because I just want you guys to know that I understand, and for people to realize that there are hurting people out there suffering with terrible things that need help. And being judgmental or not understanding is not going to help anybody. So hopefully that helps some of you. Maybe you have a loved one that is got something going on, or you just know somebody who is suffering with somebody. And I just hope that this will even just make you realize, like, it's not in our heads. And, you know, we need supportive people in our lives that are gonna just encourage us and, like, you know, help us get through this, because ultimately we do need help and encouragement and love more than anything. So anyways, this video got way longer than I anticipated, but yeah, so I'm gonna go enjoy my time with my family. And yeah, I've got a couple of other videos coming up really soon, so you're gonna get blasted with like a few videos here kind of together. Like, that's not what I was, the word I was looking for, but I can't think right now of what it was. But anyways, so I'm gonna get going, and just like I said, just know that I pray for every single one of you that have reached out to me. My goal is to always just encourage you. So hope you guys are having a great day as well, and I will see you next time. Bye.